to you? Does it make sense to you? Is it easy? Is it tough? Any opinions? So the idea is, okay, don't have many opinions here. People are kind of shy to interact a bit. So maybe we'll have the last 5 minutes where I'll let you ask me more queries. But the idea of ranking is very clear. And I'm just extending the idea of ranking to I'm extending the idea of ranking to a hedging situation. If the asset which I'm using to hedge, which I'm selling, I have to sell it when it is one of the best. I cannot hedge with an asset when it is one of the worst. Because if I'm selling an asset which is one of the worst, it is going to cost me more money. It's a bad time to hedge. So this idea of timing of a hedge is also clarified by the performance cycle. I have since Dow, I have say 5 futures, and I am looking at a portfolio or say SIF 5 futures, like I just explained you, if SIF 5 futures are the worst, that is a bad time to sell SIF 5 futures because it's going to cost you money because SIF 5 futures are going to outperform. If they're going to outperform your portfolio, it's a bad time to hedge. If SIF 5 futures are best, that's the time to sell. And of course, we should not forget our holding periods. It is what holding period I am interested to hedge. So this is ways we combined pairs and we tested pairs and we looked at buy and sell and we looked at whether we make money on the long and short side. So what seemingly doesn't seem to be related can also make money. So we have just done this testing between Dow and BET, and Dow futures can be used to hedge your BET portfolio. You have a BET component and you want to use Dow futures, there is a one point of time that you can sell Dow futures to hedge, and that is if this is a chart between Dow and BET, and if I am selling Dow futures, when it is at the top, that's the time I can sell Dow futures on Cybex to hedge my portfolio on that. When the Dow futures are at the bottom, the cycle is at the bottom, that's a bad time to sell Dow futures because Dow futures are going to outperform. So I cannot make money, I will lose my money if I'm hedging. So hedging, as in terms of timing, is a technique that is not being discussed in conventional thoughts of hedging because uh, hedging was never thought to be there's a good time to hedge, there's a bad time to hedge. It was not really thought on these lines. So these are the broad ideas which we can of course extend to social mood. We can track social mood indices. We can tag to put sugar there, volatility there, consumer sentiment there, movies there, accessories, luxury goods, and we can see that how Apple is the best and say volatility is the worst. So if Apple is the best, like Apple I put there because there is a lot of craze for iPads and iPhones. So it is a kind of indicator for market mood, market excited about technology goods. So if Apple is the best in performance and volatility is the worst, I'm going to go long volatility short Apple because I think I'm going to make money because I'm going to be selling the best and buying the worst. So this is how I can even understand social mood. Say for example, sugar. This is an old chart again, which is not updated for about few months. So sugar was the worst. And what does it mean when sugar is the worst? Sugar is also a sign of social mood. When sugar starts to outperform, that is considered in a negative mood, or people are kind of complacent, or people are um, kind of worried because when you are worried, that's when you start consuming more sugar. When you're happy, you consume less sugar. So that is why Coca-Cola Zero is a bull market phenomena because people want to be fit. So sugar as a social mood can also be understood. This, of course, is a larger cycle. This is not a holding period of 3 months. This is I think, a year-long cycle, more than a year. So even if sugar has moved up a bit, sugar may have a lot to go up. And if sugar is going up a lot more, then it is not good for domi Onshpe. This is again a larger forecasting perspective that we can do with social moods. So what do we finally see here? What do we see here is that timing as a technique is doable. You can time your allocation, you can time your trades, you can time your investment. Stock selection can be done. You have a technique to do stock selection based on your holding period, when to buy a sector, when not to buy a sector, when to get out of a sector, when to get into a sector, what portfolio stocks to build in, what portfolio stocks to reduce. Forecasting can also be done. We talked about hedging, risk management can also be done, benchmarking can also be done. Like, for example, you can put your portfolio returns in a group of assets. If that portfolio return is at the top, that's a time you are the best in the assets, but that also tells you that you have to reallocate, because you cannot be the best for long. So portfolio benchmarking, you can of course compare various other things, and then of course these are the further ideas we are working on. It's a constant improvement in terms of doing things. What we're trying to do is we are trying to create a cycle where we are combining various degrees of time. Today, Reiki is for one holding period, because you can only see say 5 December for a say 3 month cycle or a 1 month cycle. But what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to compare 3 degrees of time, like I'm doing in a trending system, adding various triangles. In Reiki also, I'm trying to add various Reikis for few weeks, and for a week, for a few weeks, for a month. Then I will add the different reikis. This is called Jiseki, which is another performance cycle, and which should give me a better idea about how my assets are moving on a combined degree of time. So we can also create time indices, which can obviously help us create passive indices idea. We can make benchmarks that this is the best components to buy now, these are the best components to sell now, and so on. So we, like I told you, that we are working on analytics, and we'll be launching these tools on our website soon. We'll have a new site also, and a lot of free stuff which can help you understand performance cyclicality, because it's a need for us to make this idea more visible, because we feel it could really help in terms of filtering. And we are also trying to work on intraday signals for buy and sell, or for pairs, and we are working on pair grade with returns. We're also trying to work on various groups of stocks, so you can actually see that which of the SIF is the best now, which of the industrial stock is the best now to buy, which of the utility stock is best now, whether Transelectrica is good now or Transgas is good now, which of the banks is good now. Should I buy BRD or should I buy PLV? So these are the kind of work that we're trying to do. For us, underperformance is the same as falling, because the benchmark is the currency. For us, relative and absolute is the same, and LOSO is called the trending system. So this is broadly the idea that I have for you, and in case you have questions, then I can take them now. I think in case there are any questions for me, I can take them now, and in case you have any doubts, I can clarify it. And if you have any, if you want me to go through some idea again, I can explain that also. So today you buy or sell gold. Now, I see, like I told you, that it's not about buying or selling gold only. It is for me that whether what is my holding period. I told you that my if I assume my holding period is intermediate degree, which is multiple week, then I told you that the gold structure is stopping and the Luso has already turned down. So for me, gold is on the negative to neutral territory. I am really looking at further fall on metals overall. And so gold is indeed on my minus side. So if I have a 3 month cycle, I'm at least looking at a few weeks of stagnation or fall on gold. So that is what Reiki tells me now on my holding period, which may not be which is not a 1 week holding period. Because if I have to do a 1 week holding period, then I may have to reduce the cycle and see for 1 week. For a few weeks, yes, it seems in a sell mode or an performing mode, because underperformance is the key here. Any other query? If you've already gone through my ideas and my slides, and so I would be happy to receive more queries. Okay, let's have some ideas in terms of how many of you, or can you mention to me, or whether you understood the system or not? Did you understand it? Yes or no, or some opinion that is it too tough, or some comments on the system that I've showcased you. Is it easy? Is it simple? Is it tough? Okay, great. So we have some interesting here. So this is, of course, it's very interesting for us also. We keep on finding newness to the working. Now it's like a boxing match, you know. We are we have we have prepared. We are because preparation doesn't get over. We keep on preparing, and we have a strategy, and now we are working on the execution. So it's really very exciting. Okay, so it's a statistical tool or a psychological tool. Cyclicality is a part of statistics. So I would call it a statistical tool. And and psychology is statistical because psychology is cyclical. So psychology would become a part of statistical science if we understand psychology to be cyclical. And for me, psychology is cyclical. So psychological data we can showcase statistical distribution in psychological data. You know, if you would have been reading our RSR, Romanian sentiment review, we can even plot data in RSR and show you statistical distribution, mathematical form. I can show you Pareto curve in psychological data. Do a survey. You are 140 of you, 146 of you here. Every day, let's do a survey. We compile that survey and we can show a mathematical order Pareto curve in the data. So psychology for me is cyclical, is statistical.